We are having this session. Yesterday, we had a session on finding your flow. I already instructed you, you have to just go through that and then fill it up and keep it with you. Whenever we asking, you have to produce it. Just what is your, best ideas, area of interest and ideas you can name it anywhere. This session is a very important session because followed by this session, Bona ma'am will take about how to validate the idea. Uh, but once before getting an idea, you have to find out the problem statement. This is a major problem in those who are working with a funded project, and then those who are working with incubation units. Even IIT Madras incubation unit is struggling to launch commercialized products. To launch in market, they are struggling. Why? Because sometime at the end of the project, they will identify that this is not a problem worth solving. People may live with the problem. They can able to cope up with the problem. Your solution is not that much needed. So make sure this is important. How to identify a problem worth solving? You have to always ask in your mind. Like when you got a solution, when you got a solution, just think about the problem statement. Is it that severe? Or your particular customer or a consumer can able to go with that with the problem statement, is he or she can able to live with the problem statement or not? You have to identify. So before to that, we have to understand the fact that how much the customer need your product or a services. Okay, so in that case, today we are going to see, like, if you have already, if you are having any idea, just keep it aside, keep it with you. We are not going to discourage you. Instead, open your mind and then work from the beginning, very beginning. Okay, so that even you can present the two ideas, doesn't bother us. Okay, so what you have to look through is the session, keenly note down the points, so that it will be really useful for your third call presentation, because this is a base of the PPT which you're going to present. Base in the sense, this is where the juries will, weigh your project or a prototype. Okay, so we'll make sure that your basics in identifying a problem statement, it should be clear. We have certain points, and I'll at the end of my session, I'll share the PDF with you. So you have to work on it, and based on that PDF only, the entire PPT I have designed. So I'll make sure that you understand everything, and then I'll give the PDF to you. So before going to the topic, if you don't have any idea, like assume that I don't have any pain points, or I don't have any idea, like what is the basic uh, broad area we can work on, in the sense, if you can check the sustainable development goals of United Nations, which is really UNICEF, which is really good enough. Okay, lot we can, almost all your project ideas will come in this, so that all these 17 goals we can't able to fund. We will select a few and highlight. I'll tell you, like, what are the things you can able to work on it. Number one is like good health and well-being. If you can able to identify any kind of prototype or a device which can able to maintain the good health and well-being, all in the medical science related field, it can comes in the category number 3. And next one is clean water and sanitation. Can you do something about it? We all know that even some of the predictions are there, right? Next world war is going to be for water. So just give that much important to the particular thing. Then just think about it. If you can able to identify a kind of prototype or a device which provides clean and clean water and best sanitation, which all means, that means like portability of the water, drinking value, like how much it can be, Even we are facing a lot of issues in our metro cities. The water hardness level is up to the mark. Even some other reverse osmosis units won't work properly, easily getting clogged. So just think it of any kind of prototype which provides the clean water and sanitation. Sanitation is the other aspect. Okay, so that in that area also you can work on. And next is affordable and clean energy. If you can able to work on any kind of energy, that too clean and green energy, it is a beauty of it. Like your prototype is in having a high value. Okay, then industry innovation and infrastructure, can you do something about it? Any, because if you check it out the nearby industrial belt and identify what they are manufacturing and what is the drawback they are facing. Sometimes the instrument which they quality control instrument which they are manufacturing, which has been imported, which cost about 20 lakhs. If you manufacture here in India, it won't cost about 20 lakhs. It will be merely cost about 2 to 3 lakhs. Okay, so at any cost you can just you have to be open and you have to just go and find out like what is the industrial real world industrial problems, can you address to that? Okay, that is also you can do. And sustainable cities and communities, can you do something about it? Because that's a kind of lot of rooms of development in smart cities like Chennai. We all know that Chennai is also one of the smart city scheme. Can you do something about it? Either in smart city or in in the production of clean energy in the smart city. You can combine both the sustainable goals also, no issues. But still, can you do something about it? That is important. Okay. Then climate action, can you do something about it? Okay, not, I'm not telling like you have to go and work on a huge project or something, like a small part of it, so that you can, it's like it acts as an indicator to find out what's happening in the particular area. Like that also your device can able to do it. Then partnership with for the goals, it means of everything I'm talking about, all the things, this is needed. Industry connect is needed. Don't be afraid to contact a particular industry, because till your ID card is valid, you can go there and then interact with many people. You can say that we are working for the funded project, we need to connect with the problem statement, so that we need industry support also, and as a student you can able to do that. Okay, so all these stars is important. Apart from the stars, if you find any other sustainable goals which is value for you, and then you can make a prototype for the solution also, you can do it. But still the preferred one is stars. Okay, so then now we'll come to the topic like about the problem worth solving. So if you check it out here, see, a customer driven innovation, this is one part, and problem severity, and this is sizable TAM, total addressable market, this is okay, and this problem severity. Remember, all these points is getting converged and meta point, no, that is called problem worth solving. Like for example, if you take one circle out of it, the problem severity is very less, in the sense it is not a problem worth solving. Even though it is customer driven innovation, we have market for it, minimal success will be there. But only customer driven innovation, no sizable TAM, and problem severity is not there, no use of it. Customer won't buy your product. So that make sure that customer driven innovation is needed. Okay, innovation is guided by a customer reason. Your customer has to like your particular product for the solution. That is number one. Number two is problem severity. Customer has to need a prototype for the solution. That much severity it should be. And next one is sizable TAM. TAM is nothing but total addressable market. How many people are suffering for it? So that when your product is launched, how many people are ready to buy it? Okay, that is called total addressable market. So in the center, we got this problem worth solving. So make sure that you are targeting this. So when you target this, all three you have to balance and find out whether the customer really want or not. Okay, that is important. Now we'll go to the points one by one. Number one is what you have to do. I'll tell you one by one. You can note it down. If you want, even I can share the PPT in the WhatsApp group. The first thing you're gonna do is go out, look around you, and identify a problem that you can spot. This is really important. So now you can, I think this is like, COVID, current pandemic situation. If you're not willing to go outside, then at least you have to sit with some of your friends and you have to do brainstorming to identify a problem and then Google it. Okay. And the first thing is explain the context well. Context is very important, because in terms of which it can able to fully understand. Like, context is a beautiful word. I always like it, because context means fully understand. Okay. Once you fully understand a particular topic, then only you can able to speak about it. For example, how to, how to choose a problem worth solving. If I know the context properly, then I can able to explain to you. Okay. So in that case, you have to, in here, explain the context well, in the sense you have to understand the problem well. And then if you understand the problem completely, then you can do something about it. So for that, we need at least, you have to make a survey with the particular customers and problem statements. Okay. So the first thing is you have to go and look around and identify a problem statement that can, that you can spot, or sit with friends and brainstorm and type it, identify it, and neatly you just explain the problem statement. Okay. The second one, what opportunity can you perceive from the above problem? This is important, because in day-to-day life we are facing a lot of problems, and some of the problems we can't able to address. Okay. Some of the problem really we can't able to address, because either it might be the government has to address it, or sometime it is beyond our reach, or something like that. So you have to just find out what opportunity you can get it in the problem statement. So you have to make sure that a set of circumstances that make it possible to do something. Because sometime you will identify some 5 problem statements which you face, and at the end of the day, can you do something about it? Can you find any opportunity of it? Like, if you list out maybe 1 or 2, it will be there. So just choose that one. That is important, because don't ever choose the problem statement which you can't do anything. Okay. In that case, make sure that you find the right opportunity to choose the particular problem statement within your reach. That is important. Then third one is, who is the customer? Now, who is the customer? Customer, in the sense, we are talking about, we are identifying the problem statement. So in that case, who is the customer? In the sense, you have to find out who is your, when your prototype is ready, who is going to buy it? Who will be your first customer? So in that case, first, at the initial stage, don't say that, at the initial stage, don't say government is my customer, because a lot of process is there. You have to be a startup, you have to be a reputed company, and then only government will be your, then only government will be your customer. So in that stage, who is your customer, you have to think. Okay, number 1. Number 2 is, or a consumer. Sometimes customer and consumer will be different, right? Do you agree with me? What I'm talking about, customer and consumer. Customer is those who buy your particular product, and consumer is those who use the product. So if a dad buys you a cell phone for you and give it to you, you are the consumer, and customer is your dad. So as a mobile phone company, what I have to do, I have to convince both, right? I have to convince both, in the sense, I have to convince in the pricing matter for your dad, that is customer, and consumer is, I also have to convince you by adding the features of it, like RAM, or processor speed, or looks, branding, everything. So in that case, it varies. So so you have to identify who is your customer, who is your consumer, so that what you have to do is, at the end of the day, You have to address both. We have to make sure that you have to satisfy both the customer and consumer. Then only your product will be in market. So a person who buys the goods or service from a shop or a business, this is a direct term for customer. A person who buys the goods or service from a shop or a business. There is one more theory, like if they always say that assume to be a customer. Like for example, if I am having an idea to launch a particular prototype, first just think it in your mind that whether you will buy the product or not. Whether you will buy the product, because we won't spend our penny, even a single penny, single rupee, to wasting some of the prototypes. So in that case, make sure like, okay, if I'm spending 2000 rupees for this prototype, is it worth it or not? You will think as a think it in customer point of view. Okay, and then because this helps in reducing the price and improving the performance of the prototype and all. Okay, so identify who is the customer. This is number 3. Number 1 is go and look around the problem statement, note down. Now, mostly problem statements, don't choose one problem statement and then work on it. Choose many problem statements. List out 10 problem statements also, no problem. And read the, note down the context well. And find out what opportunity you can, pursue to solve the problem. How can, like prototype or, kind of thing. And then find out, third one is find out who is the customer. And fourth one is what according to the customer are the main problems. This is really important, because if the problem is in distressing level, like level 5, a survey says that a problem below the level 5, customer won't buy your product. Your product remains in the shop. Customer will never buy. So a product, a pain point which is more than 5, which is intense and utterly horrible, or even if it goes to 10, it is beautiful, so that your prototype will be having a lot of market space. So that many customers are there with unbearable situations. So what according to the customer are the main problems, okay, that we have to identify. And because the problems is important, because they will be having many problems related to single issue. In that case, your prototype has to solve everything. Okay, so that is important. Number 4 is about the problems. Number 5, I said clearly, number 5 in the last fourth one, I said problems. Why? Because the customer will be having a single problem and they want these things to fix up. Okay, if a customer, if a blind man want a stick, walking stick, in the sense he wants some of the suggestions, like these are the things, these are the features I need it in the stick so that it will be useful for me. So that is called a job to be done. So you have to identify what is the job to be done. So that what you have to do is a list to solve the problem, and you have to identify your needs of the customer. So what really because sometimes what people will do, no, they will think and they will pen down the job need to be done. That is absolutely false, because customer only know that what the job to be done. You don't know. Yeah, so that you have to definitely make a survey for job to be done. In that case, like for example here, you just see that a job to be done is keep my feet warm in the winter when I work outside. Okay, outcome and expectation is minimize any additional weight I need to carry. So if you think it of the aspect here, keep my feet warm in winter when I work outside, that is jobs to be done. And outcome expectation, sometime, minimize any additional weight I need to carry. That is also, because if you just work on the particular job statement, you will miss so many things. So that at the end of the prototype, you will be lacking, like you won't satisfy the customer. So make sure that you identify the clarifier part and then clarify it. Okay, I need to carry here as, and here when I work outside now, you have to go and sit with the customer and ask like, what are the situations you work outside, what are the terrains you're working on, so that your prototype will be really good enough. Okay. So for example, just think like job to be done method. Customer really wants a small hole in the cardboard. Okay, a perfect cardboard in a small hole they want a quarter-inch hole. And remember, the solution that we are providing might be this. The solution is actually good. This drilling machine with the drill bit of whatever they need, okay, that will be really good. But they just think it, a customer really want to buy this, drilling machine for putting the one hole? No, right? If you are the customer, you will buy this? No. So just think it of, you have to ask so many questions, that why, what, everything. Why for the, for the job, and what for the solution. What in the sense, sometimes the customer, you want the hand drills, like so that you can able to, drill by hand itself, which will be cheaper. Okay, and for drilling one or two holes, that is enough. Anytime they can able to use it. So only carpenters and even the customers who was having a lot of woodwork in the home need this kind of drilling machines. Otherwise, they need a normal method. So to identify that job to be done, you have to work with the customer and find out what is the need of the customer, and then we have to design the prototype. So job to be done, there is a canvas which is available. This kind of canvas is already available in net. Okay, anytime you can go there and find out, so that you can understand what is the real principles behind it. Excuse me. So job to be done canvas. So here, this is a canvas. So you have to take, if you really want to work in, then you have to take this printout in a big chart paper, and then just sit with definitely not alone, because you need some brainstorming team. Okay, either friends or faculties. Sit with them, and then what are the job to be done. You just note it for your problem statement, which you selected. No, already I told you 10 problem statement. If you choose it, and just pen down yours, like for a single job, single problem statement, you have to take one sheet. Okay, don't confuse with all the problem statement. Don't work with the sheet. For a single problem statement, you need one sheet like this. Even for the business canvas, for the value proposition, all this chart you need like this, so that you can able to really understand about the problem statement. So here, job to be done, you just write down, pen down what are the jobs that customer is telling. What is the situation life cycle, in the sense I said no in the previous slide, like what and why. That kind of questions you have to ask here. What, why, when, where. Okay, it occur, everything you have to just write it here. This is called life cycle. And customer, what is the motivation? No, the customer to buy your particular product. Either it will be cheaper, or in which way it will be effective. Lot of things are there. And find out what is the barriers for your particular product. And like this, you have to just find out functional, emotional. There is a lot of other things, is like, what is the functional role of the job? What is the emotional role of the job? Sometimes, people, those who buy Apple products, they will be emotionally connect to the Apple brand. So that is having a little bit important. And social, in the sense, at the product also, if you turn out the carton of the box, sometimes it will be written as this particular, if you buy this product, this much amount will be go to charity or something like that. So what is the role? You have to describe it clearly here, and you have to address all these things. Okay, what are the opportunities? How can be reconfigured? What is the support of the product? What is the lifestyle? Like how much years it will be really working in a good condition? What is the lifespan of motor or something like that? If you use in prototype, okay. So you need to fill up all these things when you really want to do the fifth point, that is job to be done. Next, sixth point. Sixth point is what job is currently getting done. This is important. So sometimes customer will be already doing it, right? Already facing a problem, and they will be doing something else. Like when I say problem in the sense, like when, uh, uh, for example, if you're facing a small issue in hygiene practice in the government buses when you take care of in post COVID, what you will think, like when they go and sit, and then immediately they will be having some hand sanitizer with them, tissue paper with them, or something like that, right? Your prototype which solves the transport issues will be addressing later, but still what customer will do in case, like for to sanitize themselves, is called currently getting done. What they are doing currently, because this is called your competition. Sometimes customer does not buy your product because of this. So make sure that what currently customers are doing with it, and is it comes by free or is it by charge or something like that, you have to note down. Then number 7, estimate the market size. Your assumption will do here. You no need to be, identify this billion dollar market is there, or like that. It doesn't matter, but still a small survey will do. If your prototype is based on women, up to the age of 30 to 40, if your target is like that, then you just estimate the market size based on the population, how much is in the age group, and how much is the city limit, and within that, how much, who is the customer, what type of women is your customer, in the sense that you just make an assumption of your market size. Market size usually refers to total amount of sales or customers in the given industry over a given period of time, often a single year. Because don't address on 2010, this is the market size or something like that. For the current year, what is your expectation? Always market size refers to the current year. Okay. Number 9. Does this seem to be a problem worth solving? Again, yeah, you have to raise the big question, because there in the first number one, what I said, number one, I said, like, you know, you have to look around the problem, identify the problems, and spot, brainstorm. I said, no, if you have 5 problem statements here, at the end, if you check it out, what you can able to do, and which one we can work on, a lot of things, which one is comes within your boundary, then finally here comes, does this seem to be a problem worth solving? Explain. That means you have to explain, you have to convince others. That is important, because don't convince, because people will do, like, most of the time they will choose the problem statement to convince for themselves. They will think that this is a huge problem statement, but when you go and ask others, they will say, like, oh, this is not a big problem statement, they will tell. And they won't get confused, they won't get um, satisfied with that result. They will go with the problem statement, and it's a huge failure. So make sure that you have to convince others. If you think this is a big problem statement, convince them. Okay. And don't try to convince yourself. You have to give a detailed explanation here in number 9. Number 10, if you think this is not your problem worth solving, then you should look for another problem that you can solve. Move on. Okay. I think the tagline for uh, fast track, I think so. I don't think so. So move on. So in that case, if you think that this problem statement is not good or not that much severe, then try to change the problem statement. Don't look for other solution. That's a failure model. If the problem statement itself is not a problem worth solving, don't go for other solution, because the problem statement itself is a problem. So make sure that you choose another problem statement that you can able to solve. Okay. So when you identify the problem, what you have to evaluate and refine it. Okay. And you have to develop it. And this is a kind of life cycle. You have to again and again, it has to repeat. So at the same time, after evaluate and refine also, you can explore the problem statement. Because if you feel that when you evaluate and refine, it won't fit, then again you can able to explore and you can come back again, and you can generate more ideas, more solutions, and you can come back again, evaluate and refine, and then later you can develop. So this is called, the upper part is identifying a problem and a recommended solution. It's a beautiful picture where it never ends, never ends. When you create a prototype also, it never ends. So make sure that you identify a best problem, evaluate, refine it, and develop a prototype. And again, you just come and evaluate the prototype with the right customers, so that a constant improvement will be there. Okay, like an incremental innovation. So, yep, my PPTs got over. I'll show you the one sec. I'll show you my this also. One sec. New share. I'll show you the worksheet which I'm going to share to you. Yep. So yesterday I shared the finding your activity sheet. Today I'm going to share the second the activity where you just go through. This is what I explained now. Okay. So look here. I said clearly that the first one, use the following questions to record your observation. Go and look out at the problem identification, opportunity that you perceive from the above problem. Who is the customer? What according to the customer are the main problem? What is job to be done? What job is currently getting done? How is the customer getting job? Okay, addressing the problem, market size. So all these things are same. So there is again an small example case study also given related to that. Just go through it and just fill it up yours. And remember, this particular thing is for one problem statement. So here you just identify, note down many problem statements, and later on you just try, if you want a different, if you want to work on 2 to 3 problem statement, separately take a sheet, printouts, and then write down. Okay, then it will be good. So I think Rizwan, am I sharing the PDF now in the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It is. Yes, sir.
Fine. So what you have to do is, sincerely you have to pen down here, because who is the customer, in the sense, try to meet the customer and then identify the problem. So whatever you're doing something related to work on a prototype, find out who is the customer. You definitely need to sit with the customer and identify. I saw many of the students work on emergency services, ambulance, and other things. Go and sit with the ambulance driver and find out the real world problem. Sometimes the ambulance driver does not want your prototype, like that also it will be there. So make sure that sometimes the ambulance driver will like your prototype. So it's all depend upon the customer needs and the pain points which they are facing. So all these questions, if you address it, if you pen down your question, then finally you will come to know, like when you write this part, does this seem to be a problem worth solving? Where you can justify yourself. You can find out, like, okay, this is not the problem that I've thought, or something like that. Okay, so I think the session of mine is really useful to you. And next session I'll call
Any question and answer? Any questions?
yeah, participants, any questions? I am ready to answer related to the session. Related to the session, I am ready to answer. If you need any question, just type it in the chat box. I'm ready to answer, or otherwise we will move on to the next session. Okay, I've talked about problem statement. Sometimes you will be having a question, right? Oh, what is the problem statement, or something like that. So yeah, if you travel from not now, assume that an year before, because 2020 is a wasted year for all of us, right? We are all struggling because of this pandemic. So assume that you are from your home to you're traveling in a bus to the university, okay? And during that travel, what are the issues you face? Because it might be the problem statement might be related to the transport, okay? That is one of thing. Transport, some problems you might be facing. So can you come up with a device to solve the particular issue? Lot of things, like it's all started in apps also, but what we are planning this year is we are not encouraging apps that much. Instead, we encourage coding in the machine learning. In a particular prototype we can do it, where a particular prototype will solve the particular issue, either in transport or in during the travel. You face battery issues in the even in the power banks or something like that. Can you do something about it to charge in an eco-friendly manner? Already some of the products are already there, like a windmill, a small power clip is there, where you can able to attach at the side of the transport, so that when the fan rotates, automatically your phone will be charged. It's a beautiful thing, right? It's a sustainable energy. So you can able to charge even for the long run. If you go, you can able to charge it. So this is comes the pitching, uh, so that your ultimate existing competitor are power banks. So when you come with even a best prototype like this, it will be really good. So I gave one of the example, but you just go and find out what is the real pain point that customers are facing. Sometimes laptop customers are, power bank won't be sufficient. They will be using laptop here and there. Laptop definitely need a plug point in buses and all, but most of the buses, they don't have the plug points. Only I think the sleeper buses have such provisions. If you go by a normal bus, you need to charge it. What is the effective way? Like, just think. Okay, so like that you can find out a lot of problem statement, and finally you have to explain it with yourself that whether this problem is worth solving or not. So, sir, can my problem statement include two parameters? Yes, two parameters, in the sense, if your problem statement is one and it might be have many job to be done, that is, I'm addressing to Nabina. So if your problem statement is one, we have many job need to be done. Might be around 10 parameters also will be there. So that at the end of the day, you have to address everything. Your prototype has to solve everything. For example, I told now the walking stick for blind people. That is also one of the problem statement. You come up with a walking stick where it can it will guide the blind people in all the terrain. Okay, when some hurdles is there, it will say, or something like that. Okay, or a running commentary where while they are moving, it has to give like, okay, this is going, you're crossing the road or something like that. Some kind of identifying things, and then paying back at the time. So many service providers also there. So you have to work on these, and then you have to come up with the good problem statements. I think no more questions are there. That's it. Students, are all of you are cleared about this? Anybody? Riz?
Yes, sir. You can welcome Bhavana to the next.
Now I welcome the next guest, not a guest, next team member. Okay, our own team member, AKC team member, Bhuvneshwari Nagarajan. She's a manager of Newgen Incubator. Now she is also one of the faculty coordinator of Newgen IEDC. So she is also trained by Wadhwani Foundation for entrepreneurship, as an entrepreneurship educator. And we all know that not only to work with the framework, but still we are so flexible and identifying this kind of problem statements, and to design the particular solution, and for students, for making the business plans, pitching all the areas. She guided many of the students. So make use of her session, ask so much of questions, whatever doubt you have, just clarify with them. And I think from the next tomorrow or day after tomorrow, we will open the WhatsApp. You can also interact with us like that. We'll make a provision so that any doubts is there, you can directly WhatsApp us, so that it will be useful us. Today I'll just post the second PDF, which that is job need to be done. That is sorry, identify the problem statement, how to identify the problems worth solving. That I'll put in the group. Ma'am also will share some of the notes to you. Bhuvana, the session is yours now. One sec. Thank you, students. Thank you for your time. I'll just call. Sir, Ganesh Babu sir, can you unmute Bhuvana? So what you can do is you just take small pictures and then upload in the feedback form also. We will be giving feedback form, and what you have to do is just take a few pictures in listening the workshops and then upload it. Okay, so that it's a kind of activity. Ganesh Babu sir.
Hello.
Bhuvana, now you are in line.
Thank you, sir.
Few of the concept that Bhuvana ma'am will be taking, it will be repeated like JTBD method, and then other concepts. You can just show and then skip. No issues.
Okay, sir.
Okay, ma. Okay, ma. Welcome.
Do I have the privilege to share my screen now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Is my voice audible?
Yeah, clear.
Yeah. Okay. So, good evening to one and all present. This is Bhuvneshwari Nagarajan. I'm the faculty coordinator of Dr. MGR DST Newton IEDC. So, the topic thrown to me for today's session is validate, then ideate. So there is going to be a few topics which are going to be a repetition, but I will take it as a revision session for you guys. So when we talk about validating a problem statement, we need to understand validation is an iterative method. So it should not be done once because having an experience, we have spoken to various student teams. So when we asked them, they say, yeah, we went and we spoke to them. We have validated, these are the outcomes. But we need to understand that validation needs to be done at frequent times. So because what happens is the trend keeps changing. So validation is a process in a way of iteration. So my suggestions are of 6 steps. The first one is alternatives. The second is ask and clear. The third is define the market. Fourth is customer or consumer. You have to know who is going to pay for you and who is going to use your product. The fifth one is value selling. Rather than you keep telling that my product is cheaper than the other product, you tell them what is better than the other product. The last one, what I'm going to talk about is how do you build channels. So one by one, we are going to go in detail. So the first is alternatives. So alternatives talks about the literature survey. So the people who are in the final year or research scholar or the faculties who are there in the presentation, they will be knowing what literature survey is. Literature survey is a bit different than the survey that we take manually. So literature survey is the data that is collected from internet, which is available on it that you can check for your reference. So why do we have to know the alternatives that people are using? First, we really have to know what all are the alternatives available over there to differentiate how you are different. The second, know what it is, then that is not fitting in the canvas. So they will be having a business canvas. They will be having a canvas that the problem statement that they have defined it. So if they have defined it and have created a solution for the particular problem statement, then what it is that people are still facing a problem. So when you get to know where the alternative lags, you can create a difference by yourself for your own solution. But the one thing that you need to know is do not create a difference by yourself, but study and explore and then define it. So people have this tendency when they look into it, they think that this is going to be the problem. But the problem over here is they just see it, but they are not experiencing it. So the first thing that I want to say is whenever you are validating, it is very important to empathize with the customer. You need to empathize what problem actually they are facing, rather than you seeing it and having an illusion that this is the actual problem. You need to know what is the actual. You need to go deeper. So the second point is ask and clear. That is, now you have seen that these are the alternatives available for the particular problem statement. So now you need to know whether what is your customer's characteristics. Yes. So in that case, you need to go for some survey. So why is it important? Firstly, whenever in these 2 years, whenever the student teams came to us with problem statements, the first thing that we told them is to take survey. So the main thing about survey is, firstly, we get to know what people feel, yes, about a particular problem. If, for example, during this pandemic, there were a lot of surveys that were taken, and in the form of Google Forms, or even we have filled out some questionnaires, right? So this survey tells you what actually people feel about a particular problem statement. So when you ask for survey, that generally generates a lot of data. So once the data is being generated, it helps us to draw some conclusions. We get to some points, we take some decisions that this might be the root cause, or this can be done using this data. So this helps in taking decisions. In most of the cases, the generated data is used for prediction. So when we tell this is the sequence that we have got from the generated data from the survey, we can predict that our customer is going to react to this problem statement in this way. Yes. So the last is the people characteristics. You get to know that according to the age, or according to the location, or according to the gender, people are going to react to a particular problem in a particular way. So there are few things that we need to address while surveying, and these are some of the important points that you need to understand before surveying. So first is, what is the mode of the data collection that you're gonna go through? Firstly, it can be done either through Google Form. It can be done through voice calls. It can be also done using some questionnaires, like in hard copies. So you need to understand, once it is done in hard copy, you need to make it into a soft copy and then analyze it and then get some results. So that is going to be a problem. So you need to first analyze what is the mode of the data collection. The second is, what type of answers are you expecting and what are you receiving? So for instance, there might be a question, what is the most, which thing did affect you during this pandemic? So there will be a number of answers that you might be expecting. So the people might write paragraphs. People might write 1 or 2 words. So this becomes difficult when the number of data that you have collected is more. So third is order of questions. So when you are surveying, it is very important for the person who is taking the survey to order the questions in such a way that it is like a story. First, you ask their name, their gender, like that. It has to have a sequence. Then fourth is you have to be ready to have the to accept the accuracy of the answers that people are giving you. You cannot expect that all the people who have filled your survey will give you accurate answers. It can be sometimes biased. The fifth one is there are some queries like whether to ask their name or gender or age, but it is advisable to receive their demographics, that is getting their age, gender, their education qualification, or the place they live in, their occupation. This is advisable because you can make some correlation out of these demographic data. The last is it advisable to take the contact details? So there are two things. Even if you're getting the contact details, it's not offensive. But if you're not even getting the contact details, it's okay for us because it's just for survey. But few people take their contact details from the people to create a channel for them, for their product, so that they can contact them later for their feedback or to promote their products later. So the third point that I want to discuss is about about defining the market. So whenever you are making a problem, whenever you're creating a problem statement, whenever you're analyzing it, it is very important to know your audience. To whom are you building this? So once you define it, so there are customer segmentation that I want to talk about. So you have to analyze in which customer segmentation do you want to follow. The first one is business to business. The second is business to customer. So business to business is where one firm will sell their product to another firm. Like for example, when you take Intel prepares these processors, which they sell it to other companies like Apple. They don't go to the end user, they sell it to some company. The second one is business to customer, where the business will directly contact the end users and they sell it to them. For example, Apple phones, they make the product and they sell it to the end users. The third one is business to government. So I just heard Arun sir's talk when they said we cannot expect that government will buy our product, but there are some few cases like we had one of our products called CRAB, clog removing autonomous bot, which doesn't fall under business to business or business to customer, that directly falls under business to government, where the government can buy this product and they can make it use for the public. And the next one is government to business. These are some tenders that we usually see on newspapers. The next is customers to customer. For example, everybody here knows about OLX. It's one of the commonly used sites for reselling your product, right? So customer to customer example we can give is OLX, where one customer sells his own product to another end user. So customer to business is another type. So here, most of the startups, they concentrate on business to business or business to customer. So when we talk about, our market, it is very important to know what are they or what do they like and on what basis will they like our product. Yes. So we segment them according to few factors. So the first one is demographic. The second one is psychographic. The third is behavioral and the geographic. So when we talk about demographic, so demographic is based on age, religion, gender, family, size, ethnicity, income, and education. So demographic, for example, if I give you, if there is a business to customer, a customer market, the demographic segmentation could be a vehicle manufacturer that sells a luxury car brand. For example, if you say a BMW, you cannot expect like it's a luxurious car like Mercedes or some. So these cars are specially made for people who have higher income, right? So they concentrate only on these particular segment. So that falls under demographic. The second is psychographic. These factors include activities, interests, social status, opinions, lifestyle, values, and attitudes. So categorizing audiences and customers by factors that relate to their personalities and characteristics fall under psychographic. So not to forget, they are a little difficult to identify than demographics. This is because they are not data focused, but they are subjective. So for example, it is subjective because it is what others think, what is their opinion. So opinions might change with, with trend or with updates. The third one is behavioral. So that is usually due to the purchasing habits or spending habits, user status, and brand interactions. So the about to the segmentation that I had discussed, demographic and psychographic segmentation, it focuses on who your customer is, but behavioral focuses on how your customer acts. How, like purchasing, how much he's going to purchase, or how much he's going to use it, or how engaging he's going to be to my product, and how satisfied he's going to be. So for example, if I want to give you this example for this segmentation is Wi-Fi usage or data usage. If you see Wi-Fi usage, there might be like some particular time period of the day where a user might be using at the peak level. So these characterize under behavioral. The last one is geographic segmentation, where it is based on countries, cities, climate, population, and density. So this answers when and where to choose your customer. So this is the simplest way of segmentation. It is based on geographic borders. So for example, some vehicles are equipped specially for snowy areas with some equipment specialized to remove the snow, which if it is clogged, which if it is clogged above it. So market is decided sometimes based on the target customers. So this segmentation is one of the important topics that you need to understand before you're targeting your customers. So fourth one is to understand who is going to buy your product and who is going to use your product. So that becomes customer and consumer. So customer is the person who buys your solution, who's going to pay for it. And the consumer is the one who is going to consume or use it. So we also call them as the end user. So if you want to ask some examples of customer versus consumer, we can say baby foods. When it is baby foods, it will be consumed by the babies, but it is purchased by the parents. So the parents become customers and the babies become the consumers. If you want, for example, sometimes the customer and the consumer are same. For example, if I'm booking a ride for me and I'm paying the amount for that ride, so I become the customer as well as the consumer. Yes. So there are some common FAQs that people have. First is, can customers be my consumers too? Yes, that is possible. For example, that I gave right now, if I'm buying some food for myself and I'm consuming it and I'm also paying for it, then I become the customer as well as the consumer to the restaurant. Second, who is more important, customer or consumer? So this is an ambiguous question. You are supposed to satisfy both the customer as well as the consumer. For example, what if a parent buys a product for their kid, and the kids are using it, right? And the kids do not like it, so the next time the parents won't buy the product. So what if the consumer likes it, but the customer thinks that it's very costly and he doesn't like to buy it? So this way you are supposed to satisfy both the customer as well as the consumer. So the next question is, how do we select our customer? Selection of customer is completely based on what problem you have identified, and also based on the segmentation. Yes. Which is the four particular things that I had mentioned: demographic, psychographic, behavioral, and the geographic. How do I avoid customer churning? So churning is to move out of a company, right? For example, when Jio was introduced initially, we could see that people stopped using Airtel, Aircel, and that was the time when Aircel was, Aircel, Aircel was got over. So those are the things churning comes. So we need to understand we cannot satisfy all the customers. There are different types of customers out in the market. So one cannot satisfy all type of customers. So the last one is, how do I reach my customers? So there is something called channelizing. So that I'll be taking. So channel is a kind of a medium that you use to contact your customers. So before that, before going into the topic of channelizing, there is something called value selling. So that is called as market rather than selling. So for example, there will be everybody over here in the audience would have experienced when a few people come to your door, knock your door, and try to sell some products which you don't even use it, and they tell that if you buy 2, you will get 3 free. So they try to manipulate you to buy those products, and that is called as selling. When they keep on repeating to buy the product to tell how low cost it is. Yes, but marketing. Hello. Rizwan? Anyway, so marketing is when you portray the features of your product more than how much it costs. So there is something called unique value proposition that comes into picture when you are going to pitching for a session to an investor. So first one is you need to understand is you need to sell the value, not the price. You need to tell them what are the best features of your products, and you are not supposed to tell them how cheap your price is and how affordable it is. Next is a sentence. You need to use a sentence that rectifies the problem statement that you have defined. So what Arun sir had taken, you are supposed to come up with some problem statement, right? That problem statement, you need to rectify those problem statement, and you need to come up with a sentence. One sentence, why the customer has to buy from you. The third is the value uniquely defined to catch an eye of the customers. So you need to use all these catchy phrases or catchy words like the ultimate one, the first in the market, we are the world's first. So these kind of words will actually catch an eye of the customer, and they will be like at least they'll be available to try your product. So the last one is describe features and its uniqueness. You need to describe the features and uniqueness, but not to forget, you are not supposed to mention the technology that you're using. None of the customer will like to know what technology, like how you are doing this board, or what kind of formulation have you put it in the toothpaste that they want to know. What they want to know is it extra whitening, or does it remove oral cavity, something like that. Some features, that unique feature that your product has and the alternatives do not have. You need to mention that. Now the last topic that I want to touch is the building channels, that is the medium to reach out to real customers. So there are phases of channelizing. So imagine that that when iPhone 10 was launched, so before launching the iPhone 10, there was an awareness created in the market through YouTube videos, or giving a lot of updates and advertisement saying that this product is going to be launched in a particular month. Yes, so that is like creating awareness. So you need to start creating awareness before you start the product. So how are you going to channelize that? The second one is evaluation. So when you have started creating the awareness, you start getting some response. For example, when iPhone 10 was released, there was like pre-booking of the phone, right? Amazon says that on 12 p.m., like at 12 p.m. on 4th of August, this phone is going to be released. There will be like pre-booking for the phones, right? So that is kind of evaluation that you need to do from the responses that you create during awareness. The third is, how are you going to channelize for the purchase? Whether it is going to be online purchase or it is going to be offline. If it is offline, is it going to be a door delivery? If it is it going to be a shop, or it is going to be a franchisee? or is it going to be a showroom? So you need to have that mediums discussed. The fourth one is delivery. So delivery also has types, like how are you going to channelize the delivery? Whether they are gonna come and pick it up, or you're gonna deliver it, or you're gonna deliver and install it. So these are some of the channels, phases of channels. The last one is after sale. This is the most crucial phase of channelizing. So imagine you have sold your product successfully to the customer. So how are you going to keep in touch with your customer? What is the medium that you're going to use? So for the OnePlus or Redmi users, you might be knowing that they had this platform that they had built, OnePlus family or something like that, Redmi family. So what they used to do is they used to create a platform where all these users, OnePlus users, will be connected, and also they will be sending some updates on new products by OnePlus. Yes, so that is one of the channels that they are using to stay connected to their customers. So what are the commonly used channels that we see? Now, the most popular one is social media. That is through Instagram and Facebook. You can call it advertisement. Advertisement is only when you pay for them to promote it. Otherwise, Instagram and Facebook is like free to even share about your product. And the second one is like through advertising. That is also done on Instagram and Facebook. But most probably when you're playing some games, or you're using some applications, or you're watching some videos on YouTube, you keep seeing some advertisements popping out, right? So those are some advertisements. That is also one of the channels that people connect to the customers. Third is references. References is very important when it is a business to business marketing. So when it is references, people will get a direct boost to sell their product to the because they already have an edge of having a better reference. The third is through public events. So imagine some products, some solutions, or some problem statement that you have chosen that people are not much aware of, but the companies are aware of that. For example, there was one of the solutions that was built in AKC in the second batch, that was thermal management system. So when we talk to people about it, they are not aware of it. But when they went to these public events like hackathons, people were able to analyze the problem statement, and they were actually able to understand what they were trying to build. Yes, so public events are also one of the mediums where they can contact to their customers, and business to business is also considered in this channel. The next one is through competitions like hackathons, or even if you're writing some paper, or if there is some ideathons. So when you upload it, if you get some recognition, there is a chance that you build some channel, you build your name, a brand. The next is by using, so these were like pre or during the sales. So what if you have sold your product to the customers, and how are you going to engage them? So the next three is discounts. Once they have bought it, how about you give some discounts? For example, in Big Basket or in Uber Eats and other services that we were using, we used to give a lot of discounts to keep them engaged, to tell them that to keep them excited that we also look into what you are excited about. The second last one is updates. So by giving them some updates like use our project, this has been updated. So there is a chance that people, have an edge of staying connected to your firm. The last one is giving them some coupons, some exciting coupons where they actually feel excited, and they think that, there is a medium, there is an effective medium to stay connected to our firm. So all 6 points are done. So, but you need to understand, no matter what, you can't satisfy all the needs and demands. This is because there are so many type of customers that you're gonna encounter. So there will be a few customer who will be coming. You might have seen, if you go to some shop, to some showroom, there will be one person who will come inside. They'll see it, they like it, and they buy it and go. There are other people, like they see it for like 1 hour. They spend a lot of time, and it takes a lot of courage for them to buy that product. Otherwise, they'll just leave it. So you will be encountering a lot type of customers. So few of them that I want to discuss is the potential customer, the new customer, the impulsive, discount, and loyal. So I'll just be brief on this. So potential customer is a person who will be ready to buy from you. These customers are yet to make a purchase from you, but still we need to treat them with full treatment to change their perspective to buy your product. So for example, when Jio came into the market, uh, they were like very new to the market, but when they came, they just had to tell their features and people got convinced to buy their products. Yes, so they portrayed their features and also told them that it's going to be free for like 3 months. Yes, so that is how they got into the market and they got a lot of customers. The second type of customer is is the new customer. A customer that bought something very recently, he takes time to adopt. For these customers, do whatever it takes to make them feel comfortable in their initial few months. For example, if you're building a solution and the first product that I'm purchasing from you, you need to make me feel like it is so comfortable, it doesn't give any trouble, and it doesn't require any service. Then I'm ready to buy. Then I'm ready to be a customer of yours for a longer time. So for these kind of customer, guide them for a long-term bond, and also contact option open for them for an immediate rescue in terms of any query. So for example, you can give is Wi-Fi connection. So when you take this new Wi-Fi connection like Hackways or Ticona, they give all these new features, and for this 1 month, they keep calling you asking whether we have any problem, whether the service is good, and during these initial months of 2 to 3 months, whenever you have any problem, they'll be like immediate to answer. But later, after 5 to 6 months, whenever there is a problem, even if you call them, it will take like 3 4 days for them to reciprocate for our calls. So this is like the market, the usual market. The third type of customer is impulsive customer. So these customers can buy by taking decisions instantly, provided the conditions and are favorable and right. So these customers need not have a lot of pitching sessions by us, like to tell them what are the features and how the technology works and stuff. But what is more important to them is whether it is liable. They know about the features, so they will just buy it. The fourth type of customer is the discount customer. I might fall into that. So these customers see value in your product, but will be resistive in purchasing until given an impressive discount. So no matter what, these customers will not buy at the full price from you. At least they want 1 or 2 rupees lesser than what it has been given in the price tag. So they either need extra provision or discount with the purchase. That is an value added service. So for these kind of customers, explain them the deal with proper and necessary details. Yes, don't be like few firms who say who promise that these coupons will be will be active till the end of this month, but when you go at the end of the month, it will be expired. So you need to be very clear on the terms and conditions on the add-on values that you're giving for these customers. They may use some coupons and make sure the team also has have it in advance. For example, there is this little card that we used to get in McDonald's. So this will have this value added service. Okay, like if you buy two McVeggie meal, you'll get one McVeggie meal for free, or you will get two Mekalo Tiki meal for 200 rupees, something like that. So these kind of impressive discount and coupons will be given for these kind of customers. So the last type is the loyal customer. So these kind of customer keeps coming back to you for more, no matter what. But these customers stick to your brand. For example, I have one of my cousins. Even if you give him OnePlus, he will not leave Samsung. I don't know why. Even if I tell him Samsung will hang, bro, but he is like, he's very, conservative about Samsung. So these kind of customer are called as loyal customer. even if you give them the better one, they feel no, they are comfortable in this zone and they want to stay that way. So these kind of customers, you need to give them a platform. Like for example, uh, Samsung is a very big company, so they won't do this. But if, for example, you have a small club and there is a loyal customer, so if you are releasing a newsletter, you can have a small feedback or some story by them about your product, and you can make them as the star customer of the week or something like that, to make them feel that they are privileged to be one of your customers. So this is all about the types of customers for better sales. So there is one canvas that I wanted to talk about. So that is, before the canvas, I want to make sure that you are clear about jobs to be done concept. So Arun sir has already taken that topic, but I will just give you a quick revision. So this is a case study. There is a meeting to be conducted and you and your friends go to the CCD. Spend quality time with coffee and snacks. Now you need to tell me, what was the actual thing that you went for? Was it for having coffee or snacks, or something else? So here,
Bhuvana, excuse me. We can't able to hear you.
hello?
It's clear now. We can't able to hear you for past 2 to 3 minutes.
Oh my God. Where
Can
did
you
I
just
stop?
continue from? Yeah, can you just continue from CCD?
Oh, okay. Oh my God. Okay, okay. I will start. So that was the case study that I said. So when you are going to CCD with your friends, then you are spending around 150 to 200 rupees just for a coffee. CCD gives you a space for around 1 or 2 hours without disturbance. Whereas there is a bakery near to our college called Cakes and Pies, where you go and you sit there for even 1 hour without having anything. They'll keep staring because you are occupying their space. Yes. So when you go to CCD, for spending a quality time, that is your jobs to be done rather than having coffee or snacks. That is to have just to have a conversation and have an add-on to your conversation, right? So job to be done is described as the basic need of the customer rather than the add-ons that the customer expects. So this will be clearly understood if I give you another example that we usually use, that is Ola service, right? So when we use Ola service, Ola is used to pick you up from one place to another without any assistance given to them for navigation, right? You just have to click on where you are and the destination right now and what type of vehicle you want, and within few minutes, the driver will be there. You need not tell them where exactly you have to come. In most of the cases, you don't have to tell them because there is Google Map installed to their application. So now the jobs to be done is this: either you're getting AC in the car, or you're getting Wi-Fi, or you're getting Ola Prime. These are some add-ons. Even if you do not have Wi-Fi, the jobs to be done, that is reaching from one place to another without giving them navigation, is being done, right? That is called as jobs to be done. So before I go into the actual canvas, I will be making into divisions. So there is something called value proposition canvas. So we have spoken about taking literature survey. We have spoken about surveying manually, like Google Forms and taking surveys to know about segmentation and creating your own customers. So what you have to know is to summarize it so that you don't have to look into hundreds of data at a time, but you need to summarize it. So one of the things that you can summarize is, after brainstorming with your team, is called as value proposition canvas. So one part of value proposition canvas is creating customer profile. What customer is talking to you? That we get from the interviews that you take, interviews or surveys or any other form. So it is a summary after brainstorming with your team that I have already said. It is jotting down what customer wants. So the first thing that they want is, what is the jobs to be done that they are requiring? You need to understand what they want. What is the need? The next one is pains. What is the pain that they are facing? There is some need, but there is some pain that they are facing that is not allowing the jobs to be done to be carried out smoothly. The third is, what are the gains that they are expecting? For example, when you take Ola, the jobs to be done, I have already spoken, that is moving from, like traveling from one place to another without giving them direction. That is jobs to be done. The pains that still Ola, like before Ola was facing, before Ola was introduced, people used to face the pains where the navigation problem. And the gains that they wanted was, without bargaining, paying them, or it is not necessary that everybody will be, carrying cash that time during demonetization. So these were the things that they wanted. Some gains that they can pay not just by cash, but by other means also. They can, they can use some other add-ons. These are some gains that they wanted. The second part of value proposition canvas is usually called as value proposition, where you create values for your customer. So value proposition should comprise the measures taken by you to address the problems. So the first one that you need to focus is, what are you giving? What is the product or the service that you are providing for your customer? The next one is, what are the pain relievers? The pains that they have mentioned earlier, how are you going to relieve it? And the third is the gain creators. What is the mean to create some gains for them? For example, I'll explain it here. All the customer jobs to be done over here that they have mentioned, you need to make it into products and services. You need to transform into products and services. The pains that they had said, you need to relieve them by using pain relievers. Yes, if they say, I don't want paying through cash is a pain for me, so that you need to relieve it. Gains, some gains that they want, you need to create the gain. So you need to understand one thing: even though the gain and the pain, gain generators and the pain relievers, even if they are not there, the products and services working should go on well. There is no hindrance for products and services. So gain and the pain, even if they are not there, the products and services should not have any hindrance. So that is all about my presentation. I am ready to take questions for this. Thank you so much.
Bona, there is a question. What is mean by customer credit profile?
Customer credit profile. So customer credit profile, actually, I'm not sure about it. So maybe I could study about it and come together, because it is kindly related to the account information. that is also in the segmentation. Let me have a clear picture and I'll answer it. I should not have a vague answer, right? Can I also see the chat?
Yes, you can.
Yeah. What is meant by customer credit profile? I think customer credit profile is how well they are using their fund. That is what I got to know. But I will have a clear picture about this in an answer. Kavya, right? I will answer it later. There's also something called as this personas that we build. So when we are expecting our customer to be like, for example, I am building uh, a workspace or I'm creating a club. I want my ideal customer to be like this, a person who is like an engineer, especially electrical engineer, and he's from Ambattur so that he can hop into the club, um, anytime, and we can discuss about some questions related. So whatever problem that you are choosing and the solution that you're choosing, you can create your persona. So I think customer credit profiles is related to that, where you build your customer profiles based on their account information and geographical locations based on the segmentation that I spoke about. So Kavya, customer credit profile is building the profile uh, based on the segmentations that I said. Any other question? Ma'am CC. Cafe Coffee Day. Sorry. CCD stands for Cafe Coffee Day. So Cafe Coffee Day serves this coffee of like 150 to 200 rupees. That is minimum coffee. So whenever you buy a coffee from them, they give you a space and also give you a lot of time to spend there. And they won't ask you to leave the place or order something. So that is the case study that I used. Any other queries? I think that is it, Rizwan. So we can close the session. Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mugilan. Any queries, you can contact either Rizwan or Arun sir or me through the WhatsApp group that we have created. Thank you so much for attending these sessions. We hope both the sessions were informative for you guys. Any suggestions or any feedbacks that you want to give, please drop drop in at the group. And thank you so much. So tomorrow we also have a session by Dr. Rama Vaidyanathan and Lakshmi ma'am. So we hope to see you everybody over there. Thank you so much, Soumya, for the comment. Thank you so much. So we expect you guys to be there on time. So it's going to be an informative session on ideation using design thinking process and also an add-on session for you guys. And I can assure that it's going to be like very informative and it's going to be very engaging. Thank you so much.
Rizwan, unmute please.
Yes, sir.
Are you going to share your screen?
No, sir. That's it. We are
Okay.
winding up for the day.
The question and answer இருக்கா?
இல்ல சார் அவ்வளவுதான் முடிஞ்சிச்சு.
முடிஞ்சிச்சா? ரெக்கார்டிங் ஸ்டாப் பண்ணிடலாமா?
Yes, sir, please.
ஓகேப்பா.